Now that
All right, guys, we're on. We are
hello,
Hello, everybody. How is everybody this
Hello.
Hello.
fine and lovely evening?
Happy to be on again. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. I've heard the call to get back on and start doing this again. Um, I don't know if this is recording or not. Brady, can you check to see if it's on YouTube and if it's recording? Because I'm like frozen.
Yeah, I'll check.
Thank you, buddy.
Usually comes up and
Yep.
says it started. Oh, it is recording.
Yeah, it's recording. And
Okay,
it's on YouTube.
okay, because I'm frozen on my thing. Okay, so we're just gonna go with it. Um, so today we got that important message from Jason and TLS, the light system, and it's asking us to talk about the upcoming tricks that they're going to pull out of their sleeves um, that include our health, especially our health. So what they have in store is because this is what they have in their cards are control, 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 fear, fear, fear. And they know that they are losing. And they know that this is their last hurrah. So they're going to go for it. They're just going to go in all in. So what they're trying to do is manufacture yet another episode that we've had like for the last 3 years. Um, but this is going to be 10 times worse than what the first one was. What they've been doing is they are targeting um, that bird flu thing. We didn't know if it was going to be Marburg or if it was going to be bird flu. We didn't know what they were going to actually pull out of their, what's, uh, to put out there that this was going to be another planned episode. So they are infecting the turkeys and the chickens. They are what they're doing is they're trying to ramp this up, and it's another bioweapon like the last one. So this is being manufactured in over in Ukraine, and it went into detail actually of who the gain of function is happening and all this other fun stuff that happened with the last one, and they're at it again, and that's why they've been going over there and that the fake uh, reason of this war was actually Russia going in and unearthing a lot of um, the bioweapons labs. And so they actually um, are still at it. They're still trying to find all these labs, and it's been in the works for quite some time. And so it's already been released. It's already been set in motion. Like we said, we didn't know which illness they're going to pull out of their hat. We know that the bioweapons not only affected people that um, who had the illnesses, the diabetes and the heart issues and such like that, but then they came out with the Jabberdoos, and they had even more of that stuff inside of there. And I believe they have more payloads that are going to be activated with this thing as well. And so people are going to be feeling this and what to do about it because we need to get this out there. We need to talk about this all the time because then the less people that are hooked into this shenanigans like last time, better off we'll be because we'll see it coming and we'll know how to help ourselves. And they spoke of using the nebulizer. They spoke of putting saline solution in it, 1 drop of iodine, 1 drop of hydrogen peroxide, and taking that as a nebulizer because that helps coat the lungs and it goes in through um, the whole body system and helps oxygenate our cells, which, of course, in an oxygen rich environment, the bioweapons can't take hold. And that's what they've been designed to do, is this. And so this is just yet another stepping stone to their own plan, which was to walk everybody down again, to have that control, to crash the financial system, to bring on a digital coin, to control that with um, things that are going into our hands and into our heads, credit scores, like they do in China, where if you jaywalk, you get like a naughty little check against your name, and you might not be able to get food that week. I mean, this is how ridiculous this is, and this is what's coming. This is what we are out here talking about to try to have people become more aware of it so that they won't fall into the psyop that has been happening the last 3 years. There's also what's going on. The beautiful Tom Renz put an announcement out there today concerning uh, the jabs being placed into food. So all your food sources that are not organic will be now tainted with the jabberdoos, and we have to be very mindful of what we're doing and what we're eating, what we're drinking, because they are attacking the food, attacking the water, attacking everything, and they're putting this in everything. And so, of course, the ones who do not want to have this intervention um, have to be very mindful of what we eat and drink going forward. Um, TLS actually suggested going vegan for a while because everything is going to be affected beginning this month. So it's not like we have a day or two. It's not, no, it's like immediately. Um, if you have organic food in your um, fridge and freezer, I would muscle test it to see if it's okay. We did, and it was not tainted. Um, when you're in the grocery store, muscle testing is going to be paramount. You have to. And you have to start talking with your body and talking with the spirit within. It's just it's needed at this time. What do you guys think?
Yeah, the food, they've already started, in my opinion, with the red meat and the dairy, because that's been like the last 2 years is affecting me.
Mm.
And I've noticed other things have been off on my body. And it's just random right now. So I don't even know what all it's in. Something will upset my stomach for days. So I know they're adding things they're not supposed to, but it's just it's tough when you can't grow everything and go back to the way things should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely,
Do the best they can.
it's hard. It's gonna be, and that's what they want. They want us to cave. They want us to give up. They want us to just go along with, because they know that we said no and we weren't going to do what we needed to do. It was like that rubble in us, right? No. And we do it. We do. Not to go along with what the narrative was. But now
These
they're,
last 3 years, I didn't stay in control over anything. I was going places and doing everything I wasn't supposed to, anyways.
I know, me too. Went across country during
I'm
it, like,
telling you,
kiss my ass. But
you're as bad as me.
we didn't care. It's because
I'm,
we do. Because we do. And now,
it ain't gonna stop me none. It's just gonna
no,
annoy me. That's
no.
all.
And so that's why going forward, talking about this and getting it out there, and to talk about the nefarious things in the basement, um, because if we are aware of what the dark does, because that's the one thing our beautiful beloved Q talks about is, yeah, the light isn't aware of the dark and their nefarious deeds because we're light, but the dark knows the light, and the dark plays off of that and knows how to get to us and knows what to say, what to do, how to co-opt us, right? But the more that we have been co-opted, and the more that we start to really go within and not and command, it's basically commanding our attention to us and attention to our sovereignness and our soul and our heart and the monkey mind, which they are very well accustomed to hacking. They know our thoughts. They know, or they drum up our feelings. They're very good. They're very good. But because we've danced with them for so long, we know them too now. And we know when we're being hijacked and co-opted. We know it because we're like, oh, hey, that's not our thoughts. Or you'll hear that thought just like floating in the ether there, and they're trying to program it into people, and people will go, hey, that's my thought. No, it's not. We are walking antennas that hear every little freaking broadcast there is. So you can hear the thought processes. You can hear and feel what they're pulsating out there. And so when we become more and more attuned to ourselves, we know what isn't. And that's
The
what,
one you're talking about a few months ago with that
yes,
um, feeling, wanting to hurt yourself and feeling
yes,
so sad and depressed. That
yes,
was a broadcast because I was fine and I heard that clear as
yes,
day. I was like, wow.
yes, yeah. And how they're very good. They're very good. Um, like they will definitely pull up instances of the past a lot. They want you stuck in the past. They don't want you being in the present moment at all. And the more that we become in the present moment, we feel the bliss state. We feel that peace. We feel that calm. And I know that for myself, using the Q commands was very important to me, um, because they were really trying to do a number on throwing things my way, and I would watch them manipulate people around me, and I would sit back and go, oh, wait a second. I'm watching them do it. Why are you? And it was like, don't be roped into this because you know darn well what's going on. Just like tonight, we were supposed to go into Erie to meet one of the boys' friends, right? And um, everything was all hunky dory, and then boom, something happened with the family, lots of drama, 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 and then boom, he was like, non, non-verbal, wasn't allowed to talk to anybody, and I said, we are not. We felt it out. I said, we are not going to go into that drama because that's what they want us to do. They want us to be caught up in that drama. They want us to be upset about what happened and get all sucked in. I said, we're not going to go near there with a 10-foot pole. I said, because we know what they're up to. We know that they use people and they're trying to get people bothered and all hyped up, especially with the beautiful moon energies, which is, I call it the Death Star, um, with the control. And you could hear the thoughts being broadcasted out of there. I mean, it controls everything down here. And that is exactly what it's designed to do. Because look how it affects our bodies. Looks how it's affecting, even the oceans and the lakes and all the water. It's affecting everything that's supposed to be beautiful and serene and pure is manipulating it. And I feel those manipulative energies. And the more that you stand back from it, you look at a different perspective, you see the control of it, you see what's going on. And it's mind blowing, the psychops that are going on around us. Not only with the Death Star, but with this whole pandemic, with the whole next wave here of this other BS, to to even with Daddy T being arrested, being indicted and bullshit, and the French, having all those protests and all these other things that are distractions from what is going on. I mean, they even have a bill in the Missouri state legislature about the jabbing up of the food and how it's um, to have at least a label on it saying that this is, been um, it's been modified, and how to have that on the labels, which they don't have to tell you right now. So you could be eating God knows what, and our bodies are rejecting it and throwing it out and making us sick, and we know there's something in it, but they don't have to tell us. And so that's what's going on. Everybody's looking over here, looking over there, and then the financial system, the banks are crashing left and right, and and they're having us, oh, look over here, look over there, look over here, and they're trying to distract us from what they're trying to put into place, and how the fake Byron administration, excuse me, how they went in and signed over our rights, our medical rights. Like if a pandemic came along, boom, and they decided for us that we were going to have the jab, we had what they say, no say in that. So this is the nefarious things in the basement that nobody's talking about. No, they're talking about the indictment because it's part of the movie. And, the boomerang is going to happen where, okay, you could indict a president. Well, guess what? Now all the other presidents are going to be under fire, which is supposed to happen because we're supposed to find out what they've done and how they've actually planned this out for so many decades, this very time.
They're always using sleight of hand, like look over here, look over there. Always, you
Yeah,
never know what the true stuff is. But it's
right,
coming to an end. A lot of it's going to come to the light, which is going to freak so many people out. Going
right.
to wake up a lot of people too.
It is. It is. And it's supposed to. And we are going through it now so that we can help people through it. Excuse me, on the other side. On the other side, and when they look up after, the rug's been pulled out from underneath them, we'll be here. And, um, being called the crazy nut, they're gonna walk you up to, um, here she comes again with her conspiracy. It's like, yeah, here I am, and here I am again talking about this stuff that nobody is talking about. We have to talk about it because we can't heal it until we talk about it, until we say it. Gosh, my throat. But what do you guys have to say? Michelle, what's your saying here?
Um, I second everything you say, and let them try to tell me I got to take something into my body I don't want. Good luck on them.
Yeah, seriously.
Good luck. Because, like
Seriously.
I've said before, they're going to have to kill me because I ain't doing it.
Yeah, and I'm not afraid of
I
it.
don't. Nope, me either. And just to clarify, with
Oh,
the
you're breaking
peroxide,
up.
make sure.
You're breaking up, honey. I can't hear you.
Okay, let me try that again. Is that better?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Gosh.
Talking about the hydrogen peroxide.
Yes.
Make sure it's clear it's food grade hydrogen
Yes.
peroxide.
Food grade. Yes, most definitely food grade. I know other people have used the other stuff, like if you're caught in a pickle, they've used it. They have, but I prefer the food grade. And then there's different grades. There's 3%, and then it jumps up to 12%. So that can really burn your lungs. It can burn your fingers if it touches your fingers. So you're gonna have to really, really, really dilute that to put into your nebulizer because it is
Well, that's why,
very, very high. I mean, there's even higher.
yeah, you need to make sure it's 3% for that.
Yeah, yeah, because the other stuff will burn definitely. Because I know that I was filling up my little blue bottles with it because I take a squirt. I go squirt it in my water every day, and it spilled over a little bit, and I went to move it, and then I had that white, on my fingers because it burned. It burned it. Um, so yeah, you have to be very mindful with it. I'm sitting there squirting 3 drops into my 4 cup water big mason jar I take, and I'm putting it in my stuff and Brady's stuff. Um, it's just it's what we have to do to take care of ourselves, especially this time, because this time is very volatile right now, and as we can see, you know, um, what's happening on the outside is very volatile right now. They're bringing in the Antifa again, not only here, but over in France as well, and different countries that are doing peaceful protests, but then they're taking it to the extreme, and we know that that isn't the peaceful people that are actually doing it. They're paid actors and paid. They're actually being paid to cause chaos, just like they did with J6ers. The whole J6 thing, and they had all that stuff up in New York too. And so it just, you know, a lot of the white worker community. Oh, we don't want to talk about this, or we gotta stay, high in our frequency. But that's where I always didn't fit in very well, because I was such. Well, this is the light is truth, and to know what you're up against, and not just bypassing it and being all love and light. To be aware of it, but not of it. Like, okay, yeah, I see what you guys are doing over there. I know the darkness. I know what you're doing. I'm watching you manipulate the person right in front of me, and I see you do it, and you see me seeing you doing it. So they know that we see them. But the thing is that as long as we know what's going on, we see it, and then we go within. We be in that bliss state to just the peace of knowing, like, I know who I am, and all this bullshit's all around me, but I can still be in a peace state and just be in that peace state. And there's other times not so much, and then I have to command myself back into that peace state. And sometimes the monkey mind will really like to go off on a tangent, and then I was talking to Cheryl just a little bit ago, Michelle, about why are we asking these questions? Because we're in fear. Just like Amanda talked about today, right? That we're afraid of not being in that control and not knowing, where we will know when we're supposed to know. We'll be shown when we're supposed to be shown. Just like even with this TLS stuff, we knew it was coming, but we didn't know what and when. But now it's been brought to light. So now we are out here talking about it, to bring it out to light, to bring it out to others, because I wouldn't be able to sit here knowing this without having at least said something to somebody. I mean, I even called my mom And she's like, oh, okay. And I said, well, you can take with it how you want. I said, just be mindful when you're out there going out to dinner and stuff like that, and what to get and what not to get. Um, you know, with my little furry sister, you know, the food to buy for her will be different now. You have to be mindful of that. Which I would love for her to share with my sister who doesn't, you know. But to talking about the EE system, to talk about um, you know, the nebulizers, to talk about the solutions that we have right in the palm of our hands to neutralize all of this bullshit that's coming at us, and how to be in that peaceful state. Because we're, you know what? We know our bodies can heal ourselves. We don't need anything outside of our body to heal ourselves, because we are this heal. We are this health. We just have to be in the right conditions and the right environment for that. And that's what the EE system provides. It's just like sitting in the God code. And you're being bathed in these beautiful scalar frequencies, which is very high frequency. But then there's also scalars that we felt also that activated us not feeling so well, which are the lower frequency scalar waves. So, of course, being here on this beautiful planet, there's duality. Where do we find ourselves? Where do we find that balance? How do we get to that balanced state? I know since I did my fast, my nasal polyps and my nasal conditions have improved drastically. I know that once I got back to eating other foods, it started stuffing back up again. So I'm being led to yet again just another liquid diet. Stay away from things that I know now still affect me and stuff me up, because it's not even organic. It was organic bread and it still did the number on me because it's inflammation. And so how do we combat that? How do we say, okay, we know you're trying to get us inflamed. Not only us being angry at you, like we could be angry. We could say, you know, F this crap, you're a bunch of bastards, da, 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 and we could be tweaking off. Not only for what they're doing to us, but what, you know, they're doing all around us with all the scenarios out there. We can be pissed off and going off and just being angry, but that is giving the same energy that they're putting out. So that's where the spirituality part comes in, of being in that knowing, in that peaceful state of balance. Like, yeah, we're not necessarily overjoyed, of course, with what's going on, but we see it, we know it, and we just meet you differently instead of coming at you and yelling and screaming and you know, because there's people out there who feel that they need to go out and protest, which is great. That's within them. There's others that say, well, we see what you're doing and we're going to go within ourselves and be that love and be that understanding of the dark, because then it's seen and it's loved and it neutralizes it. But to just send love to it, from what I've learned too, with how powerful we can be, I remember flooding a Qigong class full of love energy, and it actually hurt people. Where they were not in that love state, and it actually hurt them. Where they were crying because they were so full of anger and resentment that I actually bathing the place in love to protect my ass hurt them. So that's why from then on I had to learn that I can only do that with myself. And to place what I want because it made me feel uncomfortable onto somebody else was overstepping my domain. And that's what this whole thing's all been about. What's our domain? What is being stepped on? And how they're stepping on our domain. And very important how we need to just be with ourselves and take care of ourselves, and that will radiate out and not hurt anybody because we are that. And we're not pushing it on people. We're not pushing the healing on somebody who's not ready to heal. We're doing it for ourselves in the way that we carry ourselves and we see ourselves, just like with a huge mass meditation, bathing the world in love. It's going to bring up a lot of chaos. And that's what it's doing now. The galactics are blasting shit out of us with love energy, with the sun. And it's bringing up chaos for the people that aren't healed, that don't even know what it's like to start down this journey. They're a freaking mess. Granted, it's going to fast track their asses, where we have been bathing in 4D for a decade at least. What do you guys think?
Have you noticed them?
Pardon?
Have you noticed the amount of obituaries and people that are leaving, exiting at this point in time is outrageous right now in this area.
Yeah.
Where I'm from.
Yeah.
It's like I've never seen so many young, old, in between. It's not just older people. Like they're all, let's jump off the ship with the sinking. Let's get out. Let's bail out. This is an exit point. We're taking it.
Yeah. There is a lot of people passing.
Because it's just too much for some of them to handle, I think, is what's going on. That or, it's coming to a head. This is what I feel too. You know what I mean?
It is. It's coming to a head for sure. And then everybody's going to.
And if we're feeling this, I can imagine what they're going through. We know what it is at least. They don't know what it is.
And that's why we're on here talking, right? This is why we're on here talking.
Yep.
If one person could hear this, because we went through the ringer. The last 20 years has been hell. Has been fucking hell. So much tragedy. So much pain. So much abuse. But in return, fighting ourselves. Again. Fighting peace. Yeah. Love for ourselves that we never had.
I have times in the day where I'm just like very quiet and calm. It's very peaceful. And I'm like, thank you. Like I just feel content. I'm like, you need those times because it's rough some days. That's just so nice. It's like almost being in heaven, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, it's a heaven within ourselves that we're finding. I know we've all been through the ringer. There's going to be some that go from straight from not knowing to big, huge jump into knowing. And they won't have to go through the 4D. They won't have to go. And, even that 4D is just trying to describe. It's basically us seeing everything within ourselves that have been a lie, that have been a falseness about ourselves, either a belief system or wounds that we took on, and having to heal from that. And there's a lot of people that are going to be now, because of the energy, fast tracking it. And I'm so happy for them that they don't have to sit there for 20 years and go through this. They'll just be like, oh, hey, what do you know? Everything was a lie. All right, let's do this, and they won't have to go through that 20-year process that we had to. And I'm happy for them that they won't have to experience that, because it wasn't easy. Of course, it wasn't easy. It was pure hell. What do you think, Michelle?
I'm just sitting here listening and absorbing all of this lovely talk.
Well, thank you. It is. It's just we have to, us women, beautiful divine goddesses that we are, um, we have to get out there and encourage others not to be afraid of what they're gonna see. It starts with the outside, and then you start to see it in the inside. And how to love yourself through it all. Because I know I had to be mom and dad to myself through this all. And I said, okay, how would I love to have been treated as a kid? Now, granted, my parents were loving. They were. They just, it was the codependency of both sides coming together, and being that, and just like this whole entire society is one big codependent clusterfuck. It really, truly is. That's all I can describe it is a codependent clusterfuck. It is, because it's like we're not only codependent in our families, but in society. We're letting our governments gaslight the shit out of us. The media, our doctors, nurses, they've all been fed the lies, which then they feed it to us. And it's been one big cluster fuck. And how to unfuck yourself. And what I always loved with the Aussies would always say fuckery. And it has been. And how to see through that. And realize it. And say, wow, I've been duped. Because I remember still sitting on the altar at my church. And all of a sudden, I felt so sick. I'm like, I don't belong here. When I looked over at the pastor, who I loved, he's a beautiful man. He was there for my boys through all the mess that we went through, with me too. Questioning, like, I thought it was till death do us part. How could this be? And how could all this have happened when we took a vow? It totally demolished me. To everything I was taught, not only through the church, but in society, was just one big lie. And it was all just mind fucks. And having to come through that. And then sitting on the altar looking at him, go, I love this man, but I can't participate any longer. I even told him that. He's like, huh. Like, okay. He goes, can I ask why? I said, well, I love you and the person that you are, but I cannot get behind all of this pomp and circumstance. I go, now, listening to some of the stories and how you would be able to correlate it with life today, beautiful. But a lot of the things that that we did, I remember just going through the motions as a kid and saying, this is weird, and whatever. And then when I went through, all that issues with the dark at my house, I turned to him, and he was scared. He didn't know what to think. Nobody did. Nobody was able to help me. And I even had ghost hunters. I had everything at my house. I had supposedly spiritual people that supposedly knew how to take care of this stuff. Scared the shit out of them, and they were running out of the house. So I was left to my own devices. So that's how, and he was in the basement with me when all that stuff was going down. And he's like, he had the horror in his eyes. And I'm like, see? I wasn't the only one being spun around down there now, huh? And he's just like, holy shit. Oh, here's the pastor. Holy shit. Holy shit. And he was scared. That's how close I was with him. Beautiful person. But I couldn't follow him any longer because what he stood for, well, at least what they fed him, was the mind numbing, the fuckery, the co-opting. You'd see the control. You could see even the sacrifice. You could see it, and you can't unsee it. And that was even before I knew about the depth of it all. It just came flooding in when I was sitting there just giving out communion to people. And it totally hit me what this was all about. And then I found out later, like 5 years later, what was really going on and what they're really doing. And from the trafficking kids and adrenochrome to disgusting things that I knew about as a counselor, but not this deep. Just coming out of all of this, they're going to need us. Because we went through it all. And we will be the ones that say, we believe you. We understand you. We know how you feel. You're not crazy. It's gonna be okay because here is a way. And the way is you. The way has always been you. It's always been you. Anything outside of us. And then we go through the spiritual. We gotta have the pendulums and the cards and the meditations and blubbity boobity blop. We come through that too. And like, it's all just been me. Because all of that outside of ourselves can be co-opted. And we know even our minds can be co-opted. And to be just needing us is so freeing that we don't depend on anything else but us. Spirit is us. God is us. If that spirit source, whatever you want to call it, is us. Not waiting for, the person in the sky to come down and save us. We have to save us. That's why we're on here talking about this. Because we're looking for the doctors to save us. That's not going to happen. We're looking for the government to save you. The government to save us. That ain't fucking going to happen.
No.
We're looking for our priests and, Jesus to come down and save us. Jesus is already here. The energy of that is already here because we're looking at it in the mirror. We're looking for people to come and save us, which is what? Codependent.
Yep.
I'm a victim and I need somebody to come save me. And it has to be an angel or somebody floating on a cloud, aliens even. And they're like, we can't step in your domain. This is your shit show. You gotta get it together. And you gotta be at our frequency. Or guess what? We can't be in your reality. We'll be here supporting you, but you gotta do the work. You gotta save yourself. No one's gonna do it for you. We will stand here and hold space for you, but we can't save you because we'll be stepping on your domain. And that's thinking like that is, of course, codependency.
That's how I felt when I was doing healing sessions. They're like, "Oh, heal me, make me feel better," and I'm like, "But I'm just here to assist you in healing yourself. I'm not the miracle worker, you know."
Yeah.
And then
And
they would go back doing all their other stuff and be like, "Fix me again, fix me again." I'm like, "Have you? What are you doing? Are you doing some work? You know,
yeah. Yeah.
it's
And
not gonna last unless you're doing the work for yourself."
that's why I had to step away from that too. I had to totally wipe myself clean of everything because in order for me to come out now and say it's just you bring in the energy. I'm not gonna do it. You need to do it. Well, how do I do that? Breathe into your heart. Something so simple.
And so people automatically think, well, if it's that simple, then it can't be true.
Right. And it's the biggest truths are the most simple. Simple things. Love, peace. You are everything. We were just told we weren't. And so we need people to heal us. I remember when I first started on this journey outside the doctor stuff. I'm like, oh, I gotta go find a healer. I gotta go find this. I gotta go find that. So you're searching for anything. From coaches to healers to taking stuff yourself and realizing that's been co-opted. You're like, this isn't right. This isn't right. And you can feel it like, this isn't right. I remember going through a coaching program for life coaching, and I'm like, this is bullshit. This is complete and utter bullshit. What? And it was like, I can't believe this. That I was looking outside myself to validate who I am. I know who I am. I've been a life coach counselor since I've been born.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't
That's
need
why
a
everybody's like, "You need a certificate for this. You need a
yeah.
certificate for that." And I'm like, "No,
Forget
you
that.
don't.
No, I know.
Who's told them that they're the certificate people?"
I know. I know. It's just like, you've got to be shitting me. And I still try to tell some friends that, like, you don't need that. You are that. Well, no one else will believe it. I'm like, who gives a shit? Then go away because they're not your people.
Right.
If they're going to be, I go,
You know what
let
I've
them go
learned
on that.
lately? I've got the furthest that I've ever like worked on a lot of my shit because it's been 20 years, like you say. But when I just sit there and meditate for 15, 20 minutes a couple times a week, that going deep into myself and feeling like where the aches or whatever is hurting, instead of like I used to go, okay, now we're just going to get rid of it or we're going to stuff it down and we're not going to deal with it. Now I bring it up and I go, oh, why do you feel this way? Oh, I love you. And like, imagine like I'm being tender to it. And then like, okay, we're not going to stuff you down. We're going to put you up on this shelf. You're still a part of us, You're not going to be predominant and make me feel this pain, but you're still there. We love you and stuff like that. Like going deeper in myself, whatever it takes, whatever I feel. And I've got so much further
Yeah.
with that than I have any of my other spiritual stuff.
Yes.
And it's just sitting with myself.
Yeah.
Period.
Period. And you understand it. Like you're like, I'm not pushing you away. I am not excommunicating you. I am not stuffing you in my liver. I'm looking at you. All right, let's do this. And
Right. Which I never did. I always wanted to get rid of it. Get out
yeah,
of there.
well,
Get
that's what
out of
they
there. We're not
teach you.
dealing with you.
This is what they teach you.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like this isn't right because it's a part of you, and you're showing yourself that you are not worthy of everything that you feel,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
And then it
where
comes back later, and then you got a pain
and
again, and
it's
you're like, why is
yeah,
that pain coming
and
back
it
again?
screams
Because
louder.
you never dealt with it.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm like, all right, something comes up with the boys. All right, let's sit with this. Why? Ask your body. Ask your body. Well, this is what hurt me. So why? I go, let's sit with it so it doesn't fester, and we nip it in the bud
Mm-hmm.
instead of it taking 20 years later to say, oh, back when I was a kid, this happened, and this is why I feel this way, and this is why I had this kind of inflammation ever since then. Holy shit. And you finally be the parent that they didn't know how to be. You're teaching yourself how to be. Because like
And you're feeling you're lying with it.
yeah,
Right. But
yeah,
mine's been stuffed down for 40 plus years, so it's screaming at this point.
yeah, yeah. And that's it. And that's it. We're like, okay, we're gonna love ourselves to death here. We are going to give ourselves the space that we need and sit with it and to say, I love you. And if you come up in bits and pieces like an onion, oh, that's all good too. Like there'll be, I was watching The Outlander, which I got hooked onto that because of well Jamie, and what came up was the witch trials. So
Yep.
there they were, and I'm like bawling my eyes out, and the boys are like, "What's wrong?" I said, "I'm reliving it because I need to." Then there's other things like other things will just pop up like, okay, oh the Titanic. We watched the end of the Titanic. And I started going, oh my gosh, here we go. And I looked at that 100 million times of the wounds with that. But it still came up and I still cried. I'm like, okay, there's some more residue. And then there was another time with World War II stuff and it popped up too. There was a lot of stuff that happened over, with the Scottish and the Irish and such like that. And um, that even to the slaves and such like that. Just so many different aspects to America, to the beautiful indigenous tribes, and being and knowing and feeling and being empathetic to be able to feel. Yeah, we were there at that time. To yeah, um, that story that they're telling. There's a half truth to that and half bullshit to oh my gosh, and you just allow yourself to feel it, and you're like, okay, all right, and it's been years and just millennias of this stuff that we are here to heal at this time and this now moment is when we are being led to do this. Just like the TLS asking Jason to talk to us, and then Jason asking us to talk about it. I felt called to do this because I know it's part of who I am to talk about it and not be afraid to talk about it and talk about it to anybody that I come in contact with. I don't care at this point in time anymore
Right.
about, oh, are
Right.
they gonna like me? Like Easter is gonna be great because I'm gonna be at my ex's going, hey,
Mhm.
do you hear about the chicken and the turkey? you might want to consider not eating that. And I already know. Well, here's Crazy Chrissy talking again. Yeah, Crazy Chrissy is on her soapbox because Crazy Chrissy has to get this out. Because if I don't, that's on me. Because if I'm holding something that is important to tell for knowledge sake, because I remember even with the Jabberdoos talking, remember they begging, crying and begging. I don't do that anymore. I just say, okay, here it is, blah, and take with it
Yep.
what you want.
Just tell them and do what you want with it.
I remember 2 years ago being so emotional over it because I was being affected by it, and yet there they were lining up and begging, please don't do that. And I'm done with that. That was a big healing time for me too. Was I can't save everybody, and you are here just to talk your truth and be your truth, no matter the consequences. Because
Yep, everybody has their own path too.
yeah,
Remember that.
yep. And I was trying to
They
step
have to
over
right,
the
go through something bad and to make them change or do whatever.
yep,
It's their path.
yep. And that's what the domain popped up, and I'm like, and then I did, and I told him, I love you and I respect you, and I just was so worried and concerned for your health, and I didn't want you to get hurt, and I will now, from now on, respect what you choose to do because it's you and what your choices are, and you respect us and our choices and not try to force us to go and do stuff that we don't want to do. So we had a nice coming to
Indeed.
Jesus moment, and
Indeed.
the respect of the domains. Um, will he say his piece still? Of course he will. Will I say my piece still? Of course I will, because that's who I am. I can't.
Yep.
I cannot um, allow that information not to be passed on. It's like this thing inside me where I just talk about it. Doesn't mean that you're making people do it, but at least you are moving that energy and they will take with it what they want. So if one person from listening to us tonight go, I think I'll avoid chicken and turkey for a while. Or even, um, red meat with that isn't organic, we gotta test that stuff. We gotta test the vegetables. Is this okay? I mean, right now in the grocery store, they're putting together the 9s and the 4s, which are the GMO crap and the organic, right next to each other. Touch it.
Yeah.
And it's like, this doesn't make any bit of sense. Why even have an organic section? Is that a section anymore? It's all mixed in between. It's like, well, this is not productive. And oh, we have to have all the peppers together. No, you don't. No, you don't. It is. It's. We gotta take things into our own hands as much as we can. And there's other things that we've become so reliant on society to give us. And us being up here north, we don't have a choice in the matter. We can't necessarily grow bananas or coffee or peppers all year round. I mean, we can start stuff indoors, but that's kind of hard when you have a small place. I have medicinal herbs growing in my front window right now. I've grown sprouts, things that we can do to help our bodies get the nutrients it needs. Sea moss, um, shilajit, fulvic acid, humic acid, zeolite to get the crap out. Oh, the parasites. Oh yeah, we haven't talked about parasites tonight. So this is partially why all that we've been feeling and all the sickness is because it's activating the parasites inside of us, which also the full moon does too. They control the parasites in us, and they're traveling through our bodies to feed during the full moon cycle because that's what they program the moon to do is talk to the parasites. So the parasites within us are also ruling the roost, just like the parasites outside of us. So the more that we clean up the inside of us, the less the outside parasites have anything to do with us because they can't touch us because we don't have the parasites within us any longer. So I noticed a difference um, being on these cleanses. Get rid of these little thingies. It's gross to think about, it really is. And all the plaque that they find in people's arteries and such, parasite poop, all the tumors, all these other things that are being found in people, all based in parasites. And that's from Dr. Lee Merritt, who is one of the 5 docs. He goes, every freaking disease, condition, inflammatory, parasites.
So what are you taking to get rid of parasites? Like, will the charcoal tablets work?
Charcoal will help. That's a biting agent, but there's still, that will get the crap out. But to go after them, the zeolite helps with that as well. So does like wormwood. I have this Paratrex.
I have serapeptide I take too. The serapeptide, I think that's how you say it.
Is it?
I take that whenever I get congested and stuff.
Okay. Or is it that Serapatese? Ceratese or Ceratase or? I have it downstairs too. It helps with that. It helps, and that's what it is. It's the freaking parasites in our nasal passages. Because what do they like to feed on? They like to feed on. They will tell you exactly what. Ooh, I feel like eating bread. I feel like eating sugar. I feel like, those kinds of things are the big tall tale sign. Brain fog to just that inflammation, like your joints. I mean, they're everywhere. And it's so gross to think about. It really is.
It says serapeptase or something.
Yes.
Systematic enzyme.
Yeah, it's an enzyme that helps.
I take that whenever I get. Yeah, it just cleans out the oops.
Yeah, and that helps. It helps too because the enzymes are going to chomp and
empty stomach.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where they go. That's where they're heading right now, and that's why we during a full moon is usually when they trigger our cycles or non-cycles, but they were still triggered to eat. Like, ooh, I really want some bread right now. Ooh, I really want some sugar right now. And I mean, more so than usual. Or, I want comfort food. Of course you want comfort food because the parasites are like, I want some comfort food. And they mess with your brain. Because yet again, the two parasites are working together. Because if the parasites outside of us, the dark beings, are messing with our thoughts, co-opting us, and they're helping the body ones break down your body so that you feel miserable, so that it's just one big happy cycle of feasting. They're feasting on the inside and they're feasting on the outside. They work together. Why? Because they're both parasites. And the more that we clean ourselves up, the more we see them. And we're like, oh, I feel you moving around in there. I feel that. And I feel you outside of me trying to mess with my emotions or my mind. So that's why it's so important with this parasite cleanse, is because is not only inside, but it's on the outside of us as well. And they mess with our heads. And that's why they're trying to make us sick with this whole thing. And they're trying to put bioweapons into us. Because the bioweapons also have the heavy metals in it, which, guess what? The parasites love. They love bathing in that stuff. They poop it out inside of us. That's how nasty this shit is. But that's what their plan is. The parasites that are outside of us are orchestrating it, all this mayhem outside of us. And then they're working in conjunction with the parasites on the inside of us. And they are putting the parasites inside of us. Everywhere but the US at least does a parasite cleanse once or twice a year. Like they just, especially like South America, they have to. It's like they're part of their ritual. I talked to one guy that was from down there. He's like, "Oh yeah, darling, I took wormwood just the other day." And I'm like, "So do you do that often?" He goes, "Every 6 months or so." Wow, we were never taught that here. Why? Because we're one of the biggest parasites infested countries. You think it's a third world country? No, it's here. We are that. They just tell us that that's over there because they don't, oh, we're America. We're the worst out there with everything.
Wormwood is the herb, right?
Yes. And there's
What do
wormwood.
you just take a pinch of it or something?
I got, it's called globalhealing.com, and it's Dr. Group, and it was David Avocado Wolf. Beautiful, beautiful spirit beings. They are just walking in human bodies, just like the rest of us, but they really dive into this cleansing. And it's called Paratrex, and it has a whole bunch of it in there. Clove, it has wormwood. Oh, I'll have to get back to you. Oh, maybe I can look it up on my phone. Ha. Technology. See? And even technology is a parasite. We could use it for good or we could use it for not good. And, we're using it right now for good because we're talking about this. And it's how we use it. Because you could either get on Facebook and go off on big, huge, long tangents and yell at each other, or you can sit there and spread some major, just some major truth. I've been seeing more and more of that, and it's awesome. I just love it because I say, this person, was so pissed off, but now they're just like using that, and then they're coming out like, you know what? I'm gonna take this and turn this. I'm gonna talk about what I'm finding and um, turn it into something positive instead of so negative all the time. I'm trying to hear this Paratrex.
I know when I start feeling funky, I'll get like my hibiscus tea, some green tea in there, put some cinnamon and some honey, and drink it, and just kind of flush my system out with that.
Good. Yeah, that's what Brady had the other night. He had hibiscus tea and honey. Honey's very good too.
Yep.
So let's see. All right.
Just
So
put a little cinnamon, whatever has little pizzazz in it.
okay. So this is what this has. It has a black walnut, diatomaceous earth, which actually breaks up the exoskeletons of the parasites and the eggs. Organic neem, wild-crafted wormwood, organic clove, and fulvic acid.
Okay.
And so that
Yep, that sounds good.
it's 2 capsules. There's 60 in a thing, and you can take 2 capsules 20 minutes before breakfast and 20 minutes before lunch, and drink plenty of water. And then they suggest some kind of Quinton like a Z-Lite or Oxy Clean or Oxy powder mixed with charcoal. Um, so there's different kind of um, things that you can use. Like I've been using, we found this spray, the Z-Lite spray. It's on Dr. Tenpenny's site, and Brady, and so we've been taking that as sprays. So it's 3 times a day, 4 sprays each, and it's been helping get the funk out. Um, and I take the fulvic acid that's in my Shilajit, which is just like the fulvic and the humic acids and all kinds of other goodies that are in that. And that's also found on David Avocado Wolf's site. And he does a lot of cleanses. And I did a water fast.
Hey, somebody was just talking about distilled water, was it
Yes.
baking soda and sea salt or something?
Yes, I had that on my Facebook. Yep. And
Okay.
it was a liter of distilled water because that pulls out all the impurities. Then it is 1 teaspoon of sea salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. It has to be organic. It can't be Arm & Hammer crap because that's not real baking soda. It has to be the real stuff, which you can find on Amazon. I know Amazon, but still, you can find a lot of good organic places still on there that hasn't been co-opted yet. But yeah, you drink that, then you drink a cup every 2 hours, and that will flush the shit out of your shit. Flush your shit out because it does. Wow. And you can also just drink distilled water and salt water, like a pinch of salt in the morning, and you work your way up to like a teaspoon.
It sure is a catch-22, isn't it?
Yep. Blows your stuff right out. But we should know it's coming out. And you could do enemas. Because that will help clear the decks as well. Because yes, it comes out, but to go up and kind of like flood that area gets the stuff that's packed it in there for, I don't know, decades. And we haven't cleaned ourselves out completely. And that's why a water fast is really good. Like I worked my way up to it. I had like 1 meal a day. Then I would all shakes and just liquids. And then I would just water for, I think it was what, 7 days, Michelle? I think it was 7 days. 7 days. The whole week with just water. And no salt, no nothing, just water. And then finally the 7th day is like, nope, show's over. You need to go back to drinking shakes again because I was starting to get a little weak and tired because I'd never gone that far before. It's something that you just have to work towards. Like you can do it for 48 hours. You can do it, and then they even suggest doing it a little bit here, and then you just drink shakes or water, for the next 48 hours. And so you're constantly allowing your body to stop the digestion and actually start to heal. I mean, I would have loved to have been able to do my water fast and sit in an EE system. I would have loved that. But I don't have one near me, which, brings me to the point of we need to make one near us now, don't we? I don't think there's one down by you either, Cheryl.
No, not yet.
So we'll have to bring that down there.
There's Ohio and New York, I think.
Yeah. And there's some over way on the east side of, like by Philly. But there's nothing that's in our area. Mine's 2 hours in each direction to get to anyone. But I do want to go there this summer.
Just when I see Jason have it behind him, just watching whenever he's talking, he has that on.
Yeah.
I can feel it through the TV.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, it's amazing.
I can imagine what it's like in person.
Right? Now, I had a girl I know that she got hit with a big, huge negative scalar wave at one of those events. Oh, she was so sick for like 3 weeks. She was stuck in Florida. No, Virginia. She's stuck in Virginia. So she came home and went to one. The water afterwards was black. Black from all the crap that they pulled out of her because she went to that event and got hit with a bioscalar bad pulse. And it made everybody sick there. And she was really bad. But black. What did great, like Brady came home and they were hit at work with it, like they all came with a frequency. He did it one time, it was gray. And he felt a hell of a lot better though. But, and we have the pendants around our necks that are bathed in the EE system. And if we didn't wear it, I can imagine what we would feel. Because I know it's safe, especially. It was on the site, the EE system site, and you could it's by our bioscalar. I want to say products, and you could find the necklaces were one. There was ones that you could put on your fridge, underneath your bed. There's all different kinds of ones, and then there's be more coming out as we go along, I'm sure. And then of course we got the beautiful Sasha and all his Romanian cronies coming out with even more healing technology. So all this stuff that we've talked about tonight, with all this, the bioweapons that they're producing in the basement, we have beautiful scientists that are coming up with amazing remedies to help remediate us. Now, there's the root brand, which is good for the spike proteins. But then Sasha and another scientist came up with this called Regenesis, and that's about to hit the market. I want to say by the end of this month or next month. Then there's another one, a beautiful Romanian scientist. They actually had chickens that were jabbed. They took the egg of that chicken, was able to synthesize, pull out a protein, and resynthesize it to where it would go into your body and neutralize the effects of the jabberdew and of the bioweapon. Amazing stuff is coming our way. It's going to be out within the next month or two as well. Amazing stuff that, because they are protected over there, they are able to develop this. So by the end of, I'm saying June or July, we're going to have a lot of remedies to be talking about to help our bodies heal naturally, because they're nutraceuticals. She said that you have to take like maybe 2 or 3 a day for like 3 months. But then like if you're quadruple or how many jabs they have now, and I don't know, 6 or 8, they would have to be on it longer. But and I started crying because I'm like, oh my gosh, but only if my family members would believe me. This could actually help them. Am I going to tell them about it? Yeah. Are they going to take it? No. But at least I'm talking about it. I'm not afraid to, oh my gosh, what are they going to think of me? I could care less about that. Or, they won't ever talk to me again. Oh, well, there's another one. Put it on the list. But I still love you. And I will tell you about these things because I love you. What you do with it is what you do with it. There's nothing I can do about that but give you the information. But yeah, there's so much coming out, and this whole road's gonna shift. You can feel it.
Which is a huge signal about what will and will not work too.
Yeah.
As far as the attacks are concerned.
Yes, because we are being proactive. We know it's coming. So what are we going to do about it? We're going to take extra vitamin D. iodine, hydrogen peroxide, get our bodies pretty well in check, talk with our bodies, talk with the spirit that is our bodies too, all encompassed. We'll know everything. We didn't know when it would be coming, but now we do because of TLS. We felt it. Like there's something coming. I know there has to be something coming. We didn't know what. And now TLS said, well, let's arm ourselves with the truth. And if we all get ahead of this and enough people know about it, guess what? It won't work. People won't light up. People won't go, oh, please give me that and save my life. No, just take a frickin' nebulizer and here, go sit in the sun.
That's what they did too. You know, being out in the fresh air and the sunlight does more for most ailments than anything. And
Yeah.
they made us stay in the houses and
Yep.
put masks on your face.
Yeah, which I wasn't very good at that at all.
Go sit in your room and die.
Right. I remember it was like March or something like that, and everybody's so I'm like, all right, boys, let's go to the school football field and play outside, and everybody else is hiding, and we're like, outside playing what in the sun, because I knew,
Yep.
you know what, if we get fresh air in our flowing oxygen, because nobody's out there, there's no pollutants anymore. Why? Because everyone's at home and we're the only ones out here. It was great because we were just running around having a grand old time. And that's what we're going to do around this time. We're like, no, we're going to sit outside. I remember going outside, everyone's hiding, and we're doing stuff outside and playing in the neighborhood, and everyone's just and finally people started, oh, we're allowed to walk outside. I'm like, come on. What? You haven't been outside. It's beautiful out here. Oh, it was just so. And then we took a trip out west. Pardon?
I said I was in the store today and still seeing people wearing masks.
Yeah. It's because they're
I'm like,
they're drumming it up again. Like, oh my gosh, this is here, this is here. I mean, they're already starting to talk about it. When they're always starting to talk about it, they're drumming it up for the next performance. Because they have to tell you, or say they believe in that karma bullshit, where they have to tell you, or they'll be, oh, I'll have the karma, because that's what darkness tells you. Just like there's no karma with that, we just drop it, because if we hold on to it, guess what? Yeah, you're gonna create a whole bunch of bullshit. But if you drop it and say that,
that's
yeah.
like when people find out you're spiritual, they're like, oh, would you curse me? And I'm thinking, well, if you think that, then I guess it would be. I don't have to do nothing.
It's ridiculous. I know. They're like, oh, you're a witch. You're gonna put a hex on me. I'm like, no, you do that to yourself. I don't have to do anything.
Yep.
It's just you thinking of that just caused it. Because our thoughts are so dang powerful. And that's why this whole commanding thing works. Because I say, I now command my spirit through source energy to remove and destroy anything within me, on me, around me, or in my mind that is not authentic to source now. And I say that 3 times, and then go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. And you can feel it anchoring into you. Right? And then you can say one like, I now command my spirit through source energy to increase my life force energy now. And then the more you say it, the more you feel it anchoring, not even anchoring, expanding within you. Like I feel the releasement of the mind when I'm doing the first one. And then when I do the life force energy, like my heart just begins to expand. And I breathe into that. And then sometimes I can't even finish a sentence because I'm so over like my throat. I can't speak because I feel spirit. It's just filled me up where I can't have the words. I was even in the shower and, I was getting all this like inspiration of healing centers and people to talk to and da 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 da. And it was all going through, and I was just one big goosebump because I was like, oh my gosh, I just feel myself talking to myself and Source working through me, all because I chose to listen. I got out of my way with my mind, and it was just so. It was just quiet.
Showers are the best place to do that. I do my best thinking in the shower.
Me too. And I let the water just. And, oh,
I
that.
don't know the water. Yeah.
So I put on this artist. I'll have to send you to her. Send it to you. You feel all of our lives moving through you as you listen to this music. And I put it on in the shower, and I'm moving in the shower like I'm doing something that I did back in Lemuria in Atlantis.
Are you talking about in Nico? In Nico?
No,
There.
it's
Okay.
Diva or Deva. I'll send it to you. But it's and then there's a couple of them that actually really speak to me too, and it just move around like it is kind of like a breath work, but also mixed with dance. And so you move the energy through you because it is you, and the frequency of the notes and her the pitch of her voice. Like she'll go out into nature and record all this because the
Oh, I
nature,
think I've seen her.
yeah, nature tells her where to go, and she'll sit there
Doesn't she
under.
go like the Grand Canyon and
Yeah,
stuff with a
she goes to
microphone
all
and
these different
sing?
places. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
Yeah, I've seen her. Yeah,
phenomenal,
she's good.
and it
Mhm.
just my whole body just was like whoosh, right into it, and
It's like light language.
it's amazing. It's truly amazing, and you do it with the because I used to do a lot of breath work with a group I was in at one time, and then it told me to step away from that too. But to do it on my own, I was shown how to do it, but then, it was like they were doing a lot of channeling. And they're like, no. And so it just told me to step away from it. And so I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, they're beautiful people, but it was the channeling. It was they were diving into cards a lot, doing this. I'm like, this isn't for me anymore. I just listened to myself. And then, I actually found Q, beautiful beloved Q on BBS radio. I'll have to send that to you too. Um,
Yeah, I
listening to
don't know who that is.
listening to him, his voice, I've known for millennia. I just know it. You just like like we do each other, right?
Right.
When we first met, we were like, I know you. I know you.
Probably Lemuria. I was
And
there.
yeah, we all were. And so that's how we just know. And so same thing with you. I would love for you to hear him and see what you take from it, because it's just he doesn't tell you to do this, do that. No, hey, just try this out. If it resonates with you, awesome. If not, okay, whatever. And it's not like he's not telling you to do anything outside of you, because you're just talking to yourself. And people are having a hard time commanding, telling God what to do. No, you're telling your source, what to do. You're telling your mind to stop listening to the parasites. You're telling your body, hey, I love you. Let's do this healing thing, because it's already there. It's just your thoughts about it that don't have you there. And so you're commanding the spirit. You can say, I command my spirit, I command Prime Creator, prime source. But people are saying, well, I can't order God around. No, you're just, it's not ordering. It's, hey, source within me, we're going to do this. And ourselves are like, okay. They're waiting to be told what to do instead of the narrative that we've been telling them that I'm this or I'm that. No, finally we're like, no, we're going to do this. And they're like, okay, let's do this. They're just waiting for us to take command of ourselves. And people are like, oh my gosh, we're going against God. No, that is God. God is us. God, we're talking to the God particle in us. And they're like, we're finally recognizing you and your ability
People
to
don't
heal
realize that
yourself.
people don't realize that God is in everything.
Right,
Right. Right. There is nothing that isn't God.
right,
And if you think there is, then you've been misled.
right. You've been co-opted. Just like with the religion thing, just like with the medical and the education and every little facet of our society. I have a big, huge glass of water in front of me, which is God. To come as back as he said, it just makes you think. To come back as water, because water is everything. We're on a water planet. We're full of water. We can talk to this water and say, "Hey, water, I know you're here to heal me. Let's do this." And to acknowledge the consciousness of the water is is amazing. Just like we can talk to lakes, we can talk to the ocean, and we do. I know we do because we all do it because we know who we are. I've talked to the beings inside of the water in Lake Erie. I know that there's something there deeper within Lake Erie that are not necessarily nice. I've talked to them too. I've it's I've talked to the plants, the trees. The trees actually held me the other day, and a sun being came into my consciousness. I said, basically, you know how to do this yourself. I'm just here holding space for you. And I did some major energy work on myself, being cradled by a tree and a sun being. And then on the other side, to my left side of me, was a beautiful medicine man who I've had since, 10 years now. On my journeys, I acquired him. And I haven't seen him in a long time because I've just been within myself. But I know that there's all these beautiful souls, spirits around me cheering me on to remember who I am. Then also another part of me that was in the stream, which is like the fairy part of me. So there's all these facets of me because I'm talking to them right now. We're all each other. The water's us. The grass.
All right, ladies, I love you very much, but I have got to get going.
What time is it? I don't even know because I could talk for
It's
100
late.
years.
11.
It is
11:39.
11:39.
No shit.
Real shit.
Wow.
No shit. For real shit. What? I don't know.
Damn. All
I
right,
was getting
guys.
tired, but I was enjoying it so much. I didn't
Right?
want to go either.
I didn't
I was about to
see.
say something. But
Time
I was
is.
like, well, she's going.
It's just spirit goes in me and I can't stop. So, all right, guys. I love you.
I
Thank you
love
for
you.
joining me tonight on this impromptu. But I really do. I want to get on here a lot. And we really need to start talking about this stuff. Because if we can help one person say, oh, yeah, me too. Or, you know what? I'm not afraid of this bullshit that's coming out. Let's do this. Let's drink some water and talk to our water. you know, yeah, I'll have to send you some stuff, Cheryl, so then you can see it. Yeah, yeah. All right, my guys. I love
wanna see
you.
that one with the guy. I want
Pardon?
the one with the guy is Oz or whatever. Is that who you said?
Oh, Q.
Q. I want the one with Q.
Yeah, I'll send you. It's BBS Radio, and I'll send you the links. Oh my gosh.
Okay, cool.
All right, guys. I love you. And thank you, thank you, thank you.
Love you
And
I
too.
love you. See you on the flip side,
see you
Dolly.
on the flip side, babies. All right.
Nice to see you, Cheryl.
Yes, we missed
Bye.
you. All right,
Night.
bye.